Today's review comes from Nothing Bound Brewery. This is Sable. It's an IPA in a big 500ml can, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to Nothing Bound Brewery. It's been a while since I've had anything from Nothing Bound, but I always like their big 500ml cans. And their IPAs, I think, are definitely better than the pale ales I've had from them before. This is a Nectaron, Riwaka and Citra IPA at 6%. It's called Sable. Let's crack it open, get it in a glass, see what it's all about. 500ml can of beer is always great things. Obviously, if the beer's not that great, then it doesn't make much difference, does it? But to say that, at one point I was always told, oh, these are one of the best new breweries to watch out for, and I had a pale ale, it wasn't that great, but I've had IPAs from them that have been good. And so I've got Nectaron, Riwaka and Citra, lovely hops. I'm looking forward to this with those combination of hops. So beer in a glass, got it in my big pint trooper glass here. Not really a craft beer glass, but I like you cracking out the pint glasses from now and again. We've got a very straw coloured, very hazy yellow sort of beer. 2 fingers, fairly loose head. Normal sort of New England IPA fare. Let's see what the aroma's like. Oh yeah, it smells good. It's another one of those sort of beers that, although it hasn't got the Riwaka, obviously, Nectaron are New Zealand hops, but Nectaron is quite different than your sort of, than certainly your Nelson Sauvin and the like. But first thing I get is that very sort of pear, gooseberry, melon, citrus, grapefruit aroma. And that's almost overpowering. A bit of lemongrass as well in there. So that's the aroma. It's very, what I would call traditional New Zealand sort of aroma. Smelt it once, I've smelt it 100 times with New Zealand hops. But Nectaron usually brings a bit more tropicalness to it. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Solid, nice and smooth, soft mouthfeel. There's a little lightness in flavour. You know, I want a little bit more oomph. That's the thing that's missing from it. It's a very drinkable beer. I mean, I had a big gulp out of this. Yeah, it tastes great. It's the sort of beer that you could knock back a few of these. But there's not much flavour that holds to you basically. It makes no sense at all. But you know what I mean? Sometimes you drink a beer and it sort of washes its away and you think, oh, that's quite nice, and you keep drinking it and it's fine. But if you drink it and savour it, and you know, IPAs really are those sort of things when you're especially kicking 6% plus, you want to get a bit more flavour. And again, I think I probably mentioned it on another video, but because I've drank quite a lot of double IPAs in the last sort of few months, when I drink an IPA, it's like when you drink pale ales after drinking IPAs, it's a little lacking. But if I hadn't drank so many double IPAs, I think this is pretty good. I mean, flavour-wise, it's exactly what I described with the aroma. So you've got this gooseberry and melon and kiwi fruit and guava, those sort of stuff. You've got grapefruits, lemons, limes crashing in as well. That's the flavour. It's a very typical New Zealand flavoured beer, which is, I think, very distinctive in terms of those sort of flavours. Lots of green fruits, green and yellow fruits, basically. Your yellows, your greens and stuff. So your lemons, your limes, your grapefruits, gooseberry, kiwi fruit, melon, not watermelon, honeydew melon. It's those sort of flavours. Any fruit that's light and green, pear as well, obviously I mentioned that as well. Very much they're the flavours. But I like those flavours, they're bright, they're citrusy, there's a sharpness of flavour as well. A little bit of that sort of zest and rind really you get from sort of lemons and limes. But it's all a bit one-dimensional in terms of the flavour. You're getting all those flavours at once. 6% is not sessionable really, but it's a sort of beer that sort of goes down really easily, in the fact that I was going to have one beer tonight, and I thought, I'll have a 500ml one because it's, you know, it's a bigger beer. But I'm going to drink this and it's going to make me want more beer, because it is now, worryingly, IPAs are now starting to sort of taste to me like what pale ales used to be like, you know, sessionable, easy to drink, but you want to drink numbers of them, you know. It's a good beer, not blow my socks off, but the flavour's all there. There's no weirdness in flavour. The body's smooth. It's got a light but soft body, which is great. And I think, as you say, for a 6% IPA, it's probably it's hit the sweet spot in terms of what it should be, an IPA should be. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Sable. This is Nothing Bound, based down in, I think they're Midlands. It's, Bewdley. I think that's somewhere in the West Midlands, Worcestershire, Warwickshire, that sort of neck of the woods. So I could be completely right. Definitely Midlands somewhere. And I think it's more westward Midlands. Rawaka, Citra and Nectron, it's 6%. It's not bad. It's in fact, it's good. And the scores represent this. So let's go through them. Starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. This one was, I think it was £5.30, something like that. Just more than £5. But it's a 500ml can. So I think it's, you know, you expect to pay, 10, 20p more than you would normally for an IPA at 6%. And finally, my overall experience. Tighten the scores up. It's a solid, recommended 77 out of 100. It's a good beer. It's just not blowing my socks off. The flavours are the flavours I like. The body is good. It's soft, smooth. It's probably light, a little light for me. But yeah, I mean, I think, as I say, if I'd had this beer a year ago, I would have been gushing about it. I would have thought it was great. But I'm just so used to double IPAs now that when I drink stuff like this, it's just a little bit too light, and the flavour doesn't sort of cling enough. You don't get that real sort of richness of flavour. But the flavours that are there, if you like your New Zealand hops, then I think you really like it. So, it's a thumbs up from me. And if I give you a thumbs up, then please return the favour by hitting the thumbs up button on the old YouTube thingamabob. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And then 2 other things. I only ask that of everyone on the end of every video. If you've ever got this far, remember, drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.